Hello, everybody, and welcome to Planet Sky FF, the world where everything revolves around £50,000. My name's Suj.
My name is James.
Sky Fantasy Football.
Yeah, are you still playing?
I am. I didn't play last week. I left it, and in amongst so much other stuff going on, I didn't actually make any transfers. I wasn't too worried because I thought my team was set up reasonably okay anyway. Ended up being not the best game week. I had 68 points, which I think I've now learned now. Sky has got to be 80 plus week in, week out.
Subject to what's going on elsewhere, right?
Yeah, but generally, I mean, yeah. So I had a game week rank of 92k and I dropped to 31,000 place. So 31,000. But 68 points coming from Vardy captain and Suyuncu, really. Blanks on Saturday for my captain, who was Sterling, and Aubameyang was my only other returner. Luca Dean, sorry, got me some points as well for his assist.
Yeah, Luca Dean returning was an absolute inevitability the second I took him out for Timu Pukki the previous
But you know
week.
what happens when Luca Dean returns the week after he gets a negative score?
Oh, yeah, minus
so
two next week.
-2. But he's
after,
getting binned.
double figures, yeah.
That's the Luca Dean way.
I had a better week. I finished actually on 88 points.
Oh, tidy, 20 points.
From 12 players, I moved Aguero out after captaining him on Saturday back to Jamie Vardy for the Sunday. So 32 points from my two captains. And an interesting week because technically I only had two players that completely blanked, which were Timu Pukki and Ederson. Mm-hmm. I had tackle bonus Wan-Bissaka, assist TAA, goal man and match Suyuncu. I had passing numbers from De Bruyne, shot numbers from Wilson and Mount, an assist and tackle bonus from McGinn, and a goal from Aubameyang.
Tidy.
And I think Aubameyang's shot bonus as well, yeah.
What was your leaderboard rank for the week then?
24,500.
Oh, not bad.
I am now up to an overall rank of 9,213.
Decent.
Slowly, chipping away.
I took one step back, but I'm not too worried. I don't mind that when I haven't burnt any transfers, and I'll actually be doing a lot more planning now for the next 2 or 3 game weeks as they come up, which are now starting to prove to be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I feel like I've made moves the last few weeks. The final part of my 4 transfer move will be this weekend, and I feel like then it's time to calm, reassess. I feel like for me, planning way too far ahead is probably not ideal at the moment. It's for me just do it in kind of blocks, chunks.
Of how many game weeks?
Well, I've kind of looked at a plan that was designed for this in between the 2 international breaks. Get to where I want to be this Sunday, which I've got 4 million in the bank. So I'm going from Pukki to Mane, which is a 3.7 million difference to then captain Mane on Sunday against Man City after captaining Pukki on Friday. And then in the international break, I'm going to look at a longer term process of what I want to do, which includes I've got pre-planned ideas, what I want to do around, obviously Liverpool are going to have a blank. Those kind of things, and just work out that I've got ideas in my head. Just work out exactly what the best moves are there, for example.
I had a few moves in mind. So I was looking at binning Luca Dean, Gilbert, Pepe, and Raheem Sterling. So quite a few potentially on the chopping block. Raheem Sterling's definitely getting binned for Sadio Mane.
Okay.
I'm happy with Vardy, Aubameyang, and Mane as my front 3 because it gives me a lot of captaincy
Will be the
coverage.
same. Will be the same.
Pepe's going to go potentially for Maddison. And then I'll probably keep Gilbert for now and get rid of Luca Dean and actually add in another midfielder. And I've got a number of options there that I do need to consider. Now, I have 3 game days right now where I potentially, between now and game week 16, where I potentially have no captaincy cover. One is Watford versus Norwich on Friday. I think I'll probably leave that be. I'm not buying Watford versus Norwich. The other is the following game week Sunday, Sheffield United against Manchester United. I have no coverage at the moment. And then the day after that, on the Monday, which is Newcastle, Aston Villa. If I keep Gilbert, I do have coverage, but I don't really want to keep him. So I may have on the next 6 game days, captaincy coverage only in half.
Why do you say you want to get rid of Gilbert? I know he's got an injury and we don't know the extent of that.
I mean, he's not that great, basically.
You'd be this 4.5 million, man.
Yeah, it's
Any
true.
return is value.
Yeah. I am considering a Sheffield United defender, maybe Baldock or O'Connell in his position, because they're also still actually quite cheap. And longer term, I don't mind keeping them. But like you, I'll be looking at Vardy for captain on Saturday, Mane on Sunday, then Aubameyang next week Saturday, Mane, Vardy doing the hokey cokey the following game week, Vardy and Aubameyang, and probably Kevin De Bruyne on the Tuesday night game, which is City Burnley, to give me coverage on that day. There's no point in looking at Burnley, Crystal Palace or Bournemouth for captaincy coverage that day necessarily. So I'm okay up until then, but yeah, it's these stupid fixtures: Watford, Norwich, Sheffield United, Manchester United, Newcastle, Villa. I don't want any players from any of those teams, and to get one just for the sake of captaincy isn't great. Like United away at Sheffield United, do you think they're going to score?
Yeah, probably. And in terms of captainable asset on that Sunday, you know, your favouritism would still probably want to be with like Rashford, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've done well there with Wan-Bissaka. I think he's potentially the best option there at the moment.
Well, I'm covered for those 3 single game days with Pookie Friday night. Look, I regret making that move, but then I did say last week, like if he gets me a haul on the Friday night, it's job done. I would not buy anyone from those 2 teams now for Friday night. Honestly, leave it would be the advice. And I'm covered for the other 2 single game days, the other side of the international break, because as you said, I've got Wan-Bissaka and I've got John McGinn. I think John McGinn's probably just about the best shout for the Monday night. I can deal with Wan-Bissaka. There's always potential tackle bonus him. And Sheffield United are not the strongest attacking, so that does fine. There's certainly a case. One of the things that debated, obviously, going Pookie to Mane this week is to not go Mane. There's a case there in that sort of move to go for Rashford, I think, for example. Captain him at home to Brighton this week. Then you've got him captain away to Sheffield United. I think there's one more home fixture afterwards, might be Villa at home maybe. So there is a case to go that way. I'm just not particularly fucking interested in Manchester United, to tell you the truth. And I'd rather get back the player I want in my team, which in my opinion is Mane. Yeah,
the 2 midfielders I looked at bringing in was actually McGinn and Maddison. And I may still stick with that plan and get McGinn and Maddison in. And then, and obviously I mentioned Sadio Mane. It leaves me 7.9 for a defender, which isn't bad. It's just not quite enough to get to Wan-Bissaka or even Ben Chilwell at 8 million. Is that agonising 0.1 away?
Yeah, I'm going to be similar because I kind of want to move off Harry Wilson and go to a 4th defender. He got a stay of execution from me at the weekend because I thought he did all right against Man United and they've got Newcastle next. Then I am thinking of moving towards a 7.6 or under defender. That's then going to be the only one that I'm really, really unhappy with, I'd say. I might even look again at, say, like a Harvey Barnes or something in midfield. I've seen quite a bit of talk of disappointment in Kevin De Bruyne at the moment. I think that's just an overview of the fact he's had 2 very attractive home fixtures and the only return in there is a dodgy assist. And that leaves people disappointed.
But he could have returned more, in my opinion.
Kevin De Bruyne is the sort of player I believe it won't matter so much in fixtures. It's a hell of a lot of money for someone you're not going to captain so much.
Yeah, I've only got him down to captain once in the next 10
I feel like
days.
I don't want to go with Sterling or Aguero at the moment, and so you can leave him there as an alternative option when the right time does arise for City. There is a case for moving off. I would say don't look too heavy on the last 2 game weeks because De Bruyne over longer periods of time has returned any place, any time. It would be no surprise if he returns at Anfield at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, he could have returned this weekend. He had just the kind of shot off the free kick that went around the post, set up Jesus. Even the week before, he can assist at any time, score at any time.
I obviously didn't watch the Southampton game and watched all of the Villa game. I said at the time I thought he was a little bit underwhelming in the Villa game. I don't know why, but no concern. It's not a major drama for me. I think were I to move De Bruyne, then possibly making maybe 3 moves I don't need to off the back of that, which might give me a better overall look. Like I could jump up to, say, a Van Dijk from a Wan-Bissaka, for example, at the right time. I don't feel desperate to make those kind of moves. So once I go Pukki to Mane, other than Harry Wilson, I'm quite happy with my team for a little while, and I'll probably be calming down again a little bit until we get towards that Liverpool blank period. It's
funny because we're holding back our transfers to be a little bit more active, and now I feel like suddenly we don't want to make any transfers because we're happy with
I just know that once I've gone that move and I've gone Vardy, Aubameyang, Mane, like none of them 3 are leaving for me till mid-December. I know that.
Yeah, just because it gives you the captaincy coverage.
It's covered through. So any other moves I'd be making would be to try and get 2-for-1s, etc. on players that I'm not going to be captain in any case, I don't believe.
Yeah. Shall we get into some Twitter questions then? Give it 10 minutes of those. FPL Potter wants to know if I can open up my team so he can spy on it. And yes, I probably will, but I just need to figure out how. Just need to find the button within there. There's nothing. I mean, I'll tell you what my team is week in, week out anyway.
There is that, yeah.
There's nothing. There's no secrets there. I have no idea how many you scored last week, Jamie. So if you don't mind putting it out on Twitter, then we can see who's in the lead for this pint that we're having a bet.
My team is still also completely accessible. I do not feel the reason to unlock it at the moment. I don't believe anybody's looking at my team ranked 9,000 with particular worry at the moment. Plus, I am sitting here every week going Edison, Wan-Bissaka, TAA, Syunku, De Bruyne, Harry Wilson, Mount, McGinn, Vardy, Aubameyang, Pukki to Mane. That's my team. Yep.
Let's talk about a question that's come in from, I'm going to give them the credit, Paul McAnulty.
Why is that so difficult?
McAnulty. Sorry, Paul, for butchering that.
What's his handle?
At the Mackage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it a big
package. One? When is a good entry point to get Abraham that maximises the 2-for-1?
There isn't one.
Yeah, I mean, we're overlooking this guy a little bit here.
Yes.
From an FPL
there is a case, for example, I think if you hold Pukki, the best access point would be Pukki to Abraham this Saturday.
Yeah.
To get it done. They're obviously in a similar round value. Abraham, it's an awkward one, right? Because he's priced really well. I just don't feel that he would offer me better captaincy option over Vardy, Aubameyang or Mane over the forthcoming weeks.
There's literally hardly any, if any, midfield captaincy options in this.
No, except for like you like McGinn against Newcastle does you fine.
Yeah, on these odd days. But generally for most match days, there's not really a midfield captaincy option. So I think a good thing to do, Paul, would be look at the fixtures, look at the rest of your team, and is there enough games or days where you can afford to captain him, or you can captain the other 2 strikers that you have that gives you enough coverage. The fact that you need a captain every match day doesn't help in this situation because you need 3 captains at least, plus 1 or 2 from your midfield and defence that can get you out of these odd match days.
Without question, on the value, I want him in my team.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I don't want him more than any of the other 3 that I'm going to go with, personally.
I can't see, especially Crystal Palace is a tough game, then City, then they've got West Ham, Villa, Everton, Bournemouth.
But it's not even a case of that. You're talking about an entry point. Other than obviously everybody's got the midweek fixture coming up in early December. But other than that, every weekend Chelsea play on a Saturday till they play Tottenham on December the 22nd on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. And is that your entry point? Tottenham away on the Sunday. 2 games after that, they've got Arsenal away. Now, there's a case there, obviously. Spurs and Arsenal were not great defensively this year. And Chelsea are on a great run away from home. And Abraham scoring a large proportion of his goals away from home. But then that's ages away, man. It's like 6-7 weeks away.
Yep.
So I think it's I would have far more trust personally at the moment in going Vardy for quite a few of Leicester's fixtures rather than some of Chelsea's home fixtures. It's a personal opinion. I wouldn't put anybody off Abraham at all. I mean, if you got him, it's fine. Stick as long as you're happy with your coverage. It's just not for me. I feel like The money's up front, and I feel like I've got 3 better attacking options personally.
There just isn't a decent jump on, jump off situation there. I mean, Leicester. Would you come off Vardy just for the West Ham at home fixture for Chelsea to get back on Everton at home? No, not worth a transfer. With Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and Bournemouth, Everton, you're just not going to come away from these guys. Aubameyang's the only one that I would not care about losing of the 3. He's the least.
Well, at the moment, it feels like that with Aubameyang. Look, they're going to Leicester this Saturday, and he's, I'm going to captain Vardy against his team. Mm-hmm. But then afterwards, I think it comes back. If you look at Arsenal's fixtures, like even in that midweek fixtures, they play on the Thursday night. They've got Norwich away coming up on a Sunday. There are games coming up where I'm definitely going to be captaining Aubameyang.
Yep.
So the Aubameyang exit for me is before they play Man City in mid-December.
Yep. Agreed on that. Another question. Let's find a good one. As a cheap midfield option in Sky and passing the eye test, is it time for Diogo Jota again?
Oh, Christ. What's his price?
I have no idea.
8.3 was it? I did own Diogo Jota at the start. I'm really going to have to look at that. I don't know. Is he passing the eye test again? He obviously had a little dribble towards the end of the game at Arsenal. I feel they've gone back to a system, Wolves, where it's like they started when they came up, which is this kind of 3-4-2-1, and you've got Jota kind of leftish, Traore who's really high rightish off of Jimenez centrally. And when Jota's numbers really went up in the second half of last season was when Dendoncker come into the team. They went to a flatter midfield 3 with Moutinho and Neves alongside Dendoncker, and Jota went and played right with Jimenez. Mm-hmm. So I would say no. What price is he, Suj?
8.3.
Yes!
There's no prizes.
I got the price right.
The price right. No prizes at all.
Has he had any tiering points or anything?
28 points all season.
Click on the guy's face.
Yeah, this is how we figure it out. I mean, he's not, man of the match at the weekend. Shot tiers
in the last 2 then?
No, that was not shot tier. That was just man of the match.
We got man of the match at Arsenal.
Yeah, and a yellow card. Just a shot tier against Newcastle, a goal and a shot tier against Crystal Palace a long time ago, and that is it.
Not enough yet, and although they've won their last 2 in the Europa, there's still work to do. They're still playing quite a strong side in that, so I would still be keeping clear of Wolves. There's a question about Jimenez as well. I noticed someone sent in. Not for me. That's one where I'd rather be coming back to Abraham's value and spreading the cash. Just not for me, Jimenez. He'll score any game, any time. I don't know where I'd feel on a captaincy for that at the moment. I wouldn't.
No. Tartan Espanyol. Liverpool's fixture problems are perhaps even more of an issue in this game as you don't have a bench. Have you any plans for it? I know you did a big pod on Monday, read this, but you didn't really mention Sky. And to be fair, we didn't.
For the benefit of the Sky listeners, by all means, do have a listen back to the People's Poll pod on Monday, where we discussed what was likely for Liverpool's fixture headache. To cut a long story short, we don't think the West Ham rearranged fixture will happen till probably end of February at the earliest at the moment. Yeah. So they've obviously got the blank coming up December, what is it? So
it was game week 18.
Or something
it
like
was
that.
Supposed to be around the 18th or something.
It's the weekend after they play Watford at home. Mm-hmm. For me, there's a very, very easy resolution here with Liverpool, and it's sold a lot of them. Yeah,
there's a number of 3-for-1s here that you can get. If Liverpool have Watford at home on the Saturday in game week whatever,
captain them.
Yeah,
you know the team.
They've then got a blank. Then they've got Leicester away. You're not going to worry about missing Leicester away potentially, but in between Watford at home and then Wolves at home. You're looking at Manchester United have got 3 fixtures. Everton have got 3 fixtures if you're into that kind of thing. And some even have 4 fixtures. So Everton actually have 4 games in between Watford at home and Wolves at home for Liverpool. And you'd only miss 1 Liverpool game. So that's almost a 4-for-1.
Is that right? Everton, I don't think that's right that they have 4.
Well, so Watford at home.
What's worth
I'm
saying
looking at
about
here.
Everton as well?
Sorry, Watford at home is here. Let me just make sure I'm.
Oh yeah,
right.
4 for 1. You're quite right, because they play Wolves on the Sunday.
And they're not bad. You're looking at. Sorry, Crystal Palace have 4 as well.
The exit strategy right now, in my opinion, would be they play Watford at home on the 14th of December. There are 3 games on the Sunday the next day. Now, those 3 games don't particularly appeal massively, but they are teams that appeal. Man United play Everton, Wolves play Spurs, Arsenal play Man City. I would suggest, for example, Kane or Salah. I've answered the fucking question here, haven't I? Mane or Salah, possibly to Kane, for example. Mm-hmm. Then you'd have Wolves away. This is just an example. Then Chelsea at home. Then Spurs would play Brighton on Boxing Day. You'd lead Liverpool away to Leicester. Then you've got Spurs away at Norwich.
Then back on
before Liverpool play this Sunday. You could even wait one more, and Spurs play at home away to Southampton on New Year's Day, and Liverpool is the only fixture on January the 2nd. So you're looking there at potentially 4 fixtures v1 or 5 v2.
Yeah. The other one is Crystal Palace have 4 fixtures in between Watford at home and Wolves at home for Liverpool, where they only have Leicester away.
Well, Palace play Brighton that Monday night.
Exactly.
It could even be...
Palace is not bad because you've got Brighton, Newcastle, West Ham, Southampton.
They've got a brilliant December. And we've spoken about... Well, even Zaha is really highly priced.
Sure, but I think if we're looking at who you're going to lose from Liverpool, we've all got Trent, right?
But if that's Trent value versus Zaha value is all right.
Okay, so yeah, if you then if you can get away, if you've got 3 other midfielders, because I'm going to be on a 3-4-3, I have to replace a defender with a defender.
Yeah.
If you're not, then yeah, you can switch the defender to a midfielder, of course. But yeah, I think Palace is a good shout there. So yeah, sold a lot, and there's actually multiple opportunities that you have for good 4-for-1s, 3-for-1s. Whatever tickles your
I'd
pickle.
be surprised if any of the experienced guys were advising anything else other than selling a lot. And I think then it would just be a case, your personal strategy, whether you go back on at home to Wolves or back on at home to Sheffield United. I think if you went Kane, for example, and you were looking to make that swing, you probably wouldn't go back on until you'd missed the 2 Liverpool games, I think. Wolves, the way they counter-attack, mate, fucking dodge.
Yeah.
And over that period is going to be a rotation problem. You know the script with Kane if he's fit.
Yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of people had said previously about looking at Kane's fixtures over Christmas. Those first 2, Wolves and Chelsea, don't appeal so much. But then Brighton, Norwich, Southampton, he's probably captainable all 3 of them.
Yeah, without a doubt. Another question coming in about Lord Lundstrom. Let's talk about him for a second. 6 million midfielder in this, so they've got him in his right position at least. 6 million is still cheap.
Yeah.
And he's got 45 points so far this year, which isn't too shabby.
Yeah. Well, it's 3 goals returned, but looking at the numbers, he obviously got 17 points, was it, against Burnley at the weekend?
He has picked up points in 3 games this year. Crystal Palace, where he scored a goal. Everton, where he picked up an assist. And Burnley, where he scored 2 goals. Not a single tier point
except for this Saturday just gone.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm saying not a single tier point in any
I would, for the similar price, prefer McTominay at United. And I think if you do want to get involved with Sheffield United, you will be better off looking at the guys that are priced defensively. Cheapest one, Suj, is...
The cheapest defender there that's playing is Baldock
at 6.3.
Yeah.
Probably not as likely to pick up perhaps tackle bonus, pass bonus as such from his position. But obviously playing further forward...
Yeah.
And him and Ender Stevens have both returned assists so far this season. So, yeah, Baldock 6.3. I think you just go with the fucking cheapest one because there's not a lot between them in terms of the tierings, etc.
Yeah.
So, probably Baldock would be the advice. Go that defensively rather than Lundstrom in midfield.
Exactly. And one last final question to wrap up the show so we keep it nice and listenable for everybody.
Go on.
Why do you have Messi's goal commentary in your podcast entry music?
He's the greatest player that's ever played football. That's why.
That is true. That's not the reason, to be honest with you. In the original entry, the original actual entry music was a minute long, which was a little bit too long, and we had.
Do you think?
Yeah, we had two bits of commentary. One was Gordon Banks' save, and if you remember,
what a save, Gordon Banks!
Yeah.
And we mixed that in when Gordon Banks passed away. Yeah,
and we had two bits. One was that. Actually, we had three. We had Messi and we had the Maradona. I think all tied in to make up that 1 minute. And we just ended up picking Messi as the one that fitted in with the shortest entry music, which is now 30 seconds or whatever. Having said that, we've been using the same entry music for nearly 2.5 years. So if you do interact with us on Twitter and you have any suggestions for some new entry music, because I'm quite up for just mixing it up and changing it up, tweet them at me. Don't tweet them at James, at Suj and Shah. Let's find some good new entry
Me and Suj
music.
have had this conversation a few times.
Even if it's
the music's staying, mate.
Nah,
It's staying.
You can't have it the same forever. Even EastEnders change their theme music every
Yeah,
3,
do you
4
want to
years.
give me the verses of the difference?
No idea.
No, we ain't changing it.
Yeah.
The only thing, eventually we're going to change it at the end where it goes, the PlanetFPL podcast.
Oh, that we need to do as well somehow. But there we go. That's a quick rundown on Sky. We'll be back next week. Just as we always do. So you've got Pookie captain on Friday,
Jamie Vardy Saturday.
Mane Sunday.
And I'll be Mane Sunday.
I'm
yes.
Vardy and Mane. I'll have no captain this Friday.
I think Saturday is quite a tough call. You've got obviously Abraham, you've got Kane or Son if for any reason you own. I think Vardy. Those are your choices really Saturday. I do personally think that Vardy is the standout of those.
Yeah, I agree with you on that for both FPL and Sky. So interesting will be really all eggs in Vardy's basket.
Just because I think Palace and Sheffield United are awkward defensively, and you know that Arsenal will give up chances.
Correct. That's it for now. Thanks for listening to Planet Sky FF. Do like, subscribe, share any comments that you have on Twitter. We'll interact with you as best we can. Other than that, ciao for now.
Cue music, man, Charles.
Messi, ancora Messi, ancora Messi, ancora Messi, ancora Messi, ancora Messi, ancora Messi.